Alright, so this video is going to be about changing the fonts in my Joust program to be more fancy, to make the game look a little bit better. So like what the fonts I'm talking about are the Wave 1, Prepare to Joust, Buzzard Bait, those types of fonts. In the arcade game they have a fancier font, and I think my game looks kind of cheap because I didn't use better fonts. I just used kind of standard type fonts. This is a Linux machine, so I have a couple of different sources of fonts available, and so the point of me playing this game here is just to demonstrate what the fonts look like before we start. So I need to write a program to look at the different fonts that I have available to me, and then choose one for the font I'm going to use in the game. In X Windows, you can do an XLS fonts, and that will list all the different fonts available in the system. Also, in Tickle, there's going to be fonts. So here I can do a font families, and that will give me a list of all the fonts available there. So I'm going to write a program to loop through all the available fonts, both in X Windows and in Tickle TK, and then I can visually see what's available and then choose one that would make the game look better. So let's start writing a script. This has to be a wish program because we're going to be displaying the fonts. I'm going to need a canvas. In order to visualize the fonts. And I guess I'll make the background black and the fonts white for this. It's arbitrary, but I need maximum contrast so I can see the fonts better. So for X Windows, I'm going to want to capture the XLS fonts options. So let's see if that works. I need to make that executable, and it did. It printed them out to the screen. So let's see if I can loop through them. Get rid of that. This is just a test to see if I can loop through them. Doesn't look like I'm looping through them, does it? So let's see. Will that work? Yes. So I'm looping through all of the X fonts. Okay. All right. Looping through the fonts. Try that again. Nope. Just a close bracket. Missing it there. That didn't work. That was the problem. There we go. All right, so that's the list for the X Windows fonts. Now let's do a list for Wish Tickle TK fonts. And let's just start with command. Let's see if that works. Looks like it worked. So I'm printing the X fonts first, and then I'm printing the Tickle fonts, if you will, Tickle fonts, or Tickle families. Alright. So now, let's create a text to indicate which type of font we're looking at. Okay, we're going to look at X fonts first. And I'm just going to give it a tag so that I can delete them in between. Every time something changes, I'll delete the, when I transition, I'll need to delete it, so I'll give it a tag to indicate what I'm deleting. It'll become clearer lately, or clearer later, hopefully. Alright, so, actually put that in the wrong place. Let's put it there. Let's get rid of that. Let's see, I made it 1,000, so let's go 500 and 200. I'm going to put it in the center. Yeah, 500 and 200. And dash fill white, dash text, $X font, dash font, $X font, dash tag, what do I want to call it? Test font, I guess. Alright. So I'm going to loop through these. Every 2,000, every 2 seconds, every 2,000 milliseconds. I'm going to wait for the variable before I proceed. This line here basically says wait for this variable OK to change. This line here is going to set up an event after 2 seconds. Set the variable to 1, and this is a non-blocking command. So this will execute and immediately go here, and this will wait until that one finishes, or until the scheduled event occurs, and then it's gonna go. I'm gonna need to. I'm having a little trouble breathing today. I guess it's allergies. I'm gonna need to delete the tag. All right, let's see what that looks like. Doesn't look like anything. Not working. Oh, I forgot to pack the canvas, that's why. Let's try that. There we go. So every 2 seconds it's going to loop, go to the next font. And of course this is going to be annoying. There's probably hundreds of different fonts. We're going to want to put controls, but basically this is just a test to see if it works. And ignore the man behind the curtain. Alright, so let's do the same thing for this guy. I'll just copy and paste these lines. Alright. Instead of X font, it's going to be T font. And same thing. Here I'm going to set this to 1, just to get through it real quick so I can look at this one. I want to see if this one does anything. So we're going through the first ones real quick. Then it should slow down when it gets to... Oh, it crashed. Got symbols. Oh, okay. So what does that mean? I need to set... Now the question is it the first or the second one? Because it's in pairs, right? Alright, so I'm thinking it's the first one, first item in each entry that I want. So let me so I've already set it to that, to the first item. So let's see if that works. Well, those fonts all look the same, so it must not be right. Oh, okay, that's different. Yeah, okay, so the fonts are changing. So it looks like we're looking at the right thing here. Alright, so let's add some controls now. Some binds. Let's see, how do I want to do that? I'm going to bind the letter N. Anytime I push the letter N on the keyboard, I'm going to go to the next one. Okay. And if I ever press the P key, then I'm going to go to the previous one. So I'll just I'll say set a variable key press. Whoop. I'm going to set key press to N for that one, and I'll set key press to P for that one. Just something to trigger off of. Okay. Set index to 0. And I need to change my loop to a while. While index is less than the number in X fonts. Get rid of that. I'm going to want to grab the font name from the list of X fonts based on the index value. We're starting at the first one, which is 0. All lists and tick will start with index 0. We'll display it. I won't need the after or the T. I will need the TK weight. Okay. If key press is in, that means we're going to the next one. Increment index. All right. If key press is P, we'll subtract 1 from the index. Now we got to do some got to do some edge detections. So if $index is less than 0, set index to 0. If I keep pressing the P button to go backwards, if I get to the first entry, I don't want to go into negative territory. I want to stay in the realm of our list. So I'm going to keep us at the first entry in that case. I don't have to worry about the next button, because when we get past the last one, then we want to progress to the next set of fonts. Let me make this window bigger. Okay. Alrighty. I think I'll just put an exit here. I want to test what I have so far. Let me open another window. Okay. So this guy. / what did I call this? Joust fonts. Joust font. Alright, so if I hit N, I should go up. It didn't like it. Alright, let's see what happened. Yeah, key press equal to N, so that's working. So if key press equals N, we should increment the index. So when we get to here, if I push N, it should be, let me get here. If I push N, this index should be 1. If I push P, it should stay at 0. Well, it should go to negative. Well, let me put it down here. It should stay at 0. Not sure why we're exiting. Okay, so N equal 1. So if index is less, silly. While index is less than. Well, what's so silly about that? Why is it exiting? Okay, well, how many do I have in there? Well, we only have 1. Oops. That's a little confusing. Why do I only have 1? What am I doing wrong? I don't know. It's got a bunch of stuff. L equals 1, but I can loop through them. Oh, duh. Need a $sign there. Now we're going to be okay. There we go. So that's N, that's P. I'm going backwards and forwards. Okay. Little brain fart there, guys. Sorry about that. So now we're back on track. So that's working. And let's do the same thing down here. Copy that one. And I need to set index to 0 here. Reset the index. While x is less than tickle fonts. Set t font to L index. T tickle fonts index. Get rid of that. No, don't get rid of that. I need the 0th member of that one. Now I can get rid of that line. So we're going to print it. I get rid of that stuff. Basically, I'll just copy this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 lines. Okay, so now I'll be able to scroll through all of them. Alright, let's try running it now. Okay, so this first set is the X Windows fonts that are available. And I'm looking for something that's kind of fancy. That's kind of fancy. I mean, it's basically cursive. I mean, or italics. So that's better than what I had. Let's see, that one's or italic-y as well. Oh. Nothing's leaping out at me, really. I mean, there were a couple of interesting ones, but basically I'm going to scroll through all of the fonts till I find something that I would like in my Joust game. That was the whole point of this program. The size of the font doesn't matter. We can control that. What I'm looking for is shape or style of the font that is appropriate. We can control the size. I'm beginning to wonder if the Wish or the Tickle TK font families are going to be the better choice. These are all pretty mundane. Ooh, that's small. But I can still see it good enough to know that it's just plain looking stuff. Nothing fancy. I'm looking for a fancy, almost, I don't know, cursive-y type text fonts. Let's hold up. Let me bring up. Let's look and see what the Joust font look like. Go to YouTube. See if we can find a game to kind of look at the fonts. Okay. speed up. Okay, so like that's what it looks like. It's kind of fancy-ish. Let's go to the game. I think these fonts pretty much, yeah, these are kind of what I'm looking for, this type of font. Let's see. So prepare to joust, wave one. It's just fancier looking font. So let's just keep going and see what else we can find here. So far nothing has just jumped out at me. Can't see anything there. Uh-oh. Huh. I got to the end and didn't realize. So I need to add a counter or something. Let's see. Let's go. I don't know. Let's go 200, 25. I'm going to create a text to give me an idea of how many in each family I have left to go through. Oh, I put the exit down there. That's why it exited before I got to the other one. Let me take that out of there. But still, it'd be nice to know how much further I have. Let's go $, index out of X fonts. That's going to need to be in quotes. And I'll just do the same test font so that when we get to the delete, it will delete it, and the next one will be a fresh display of the count. So let's do the same thing down here. Tickle fonts, index. Okay, let's see what that looks like. It didn't like it. Oh. Unknown option. Oops. Okay. Alright. So there's 677. Let's just warp through these real quick because we've already looked at these. I want to look at the font families in Tickle TK, see what those options are, because none of these just leaped out at me. There were a couple at the beginning that looked kind of cursive, italic-y, but I really want something fancy. Get to the end here. Okay, so now we're in the didn't update. Why didn't it update? Font. Oh, well, Okay, I forgot to, oops, I forgot to put my, these are going to be tickle, now we'll call it wish fonts. And I need to do a .c delete of font type. Okay. This is going to clean up the old one so that when I print this one, it won't leave the old one behind. It will only show this. So let's try it again. Alright, let's work through this. Yes, I could get fancy. I could do a shift in or something to get to the end. Yeah. If I was going to use this more than once, then I might do stuff like that. But this is just to solve a problem that I have with, well, not a problem, just to make, you know, the fonts better. Okay, so I'm in the wish fonts now, as you can see up here. That was the last change I made. We're in the wish fonts. So let's see what the different families, what the fonts look like for those. See if we can find anything that would be appropriate for the game to make it look better. That's interesting. That's an interesting font. Now that's a possibility. What was that? That one was Parisi. Never heard of it. No idea what that one's. Too small. That one is a possibility. Chilanka. Parisi and Chilanka. One of those two is a possibility. Manjari. What is that? Z003. No, I like that one. I like how it's got a little bit of an angle to it. I should have reduced duplicates in the lists. What is that? Eurobe. That's the end. Okay, I'll show you how to reduce the lists to where you can have redundance, and also to sort the lists in alphabetical order. Let's go up here. So that one, if I say else sort dash unique, that should eliminate redundance. Same thing here. Alright, let's try that and see what that does. Okay, didn't reduce anything. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's unique, dash unique. Want to make sure I'm using the right option. All right, so I guess let's run it again. I guess there's no duplicates in the XLS fonts list. They're all unique. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to add a shift in bind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shift in. Oop. Go to end. Key press in. Okay. Alrighty. So if it's a key press in, and I guess I should make these else ifs. So I'm going to set index to L length $X fonts, and I need to subtract one from it. Maybe 2, but we'll start with 1. Alright, copy that code down here. This was Tickle Fonts, I think. Yeah. Okay. Let's see how that goes. So I can jump to the end. So if I hit regular N, if I hit P, N advances, P returns. If I say Shift N, it jumps me towards the bottom. Okay. So now Shift in there gets me towards the bottom. All right. I think I'm leaning towards that Shift in. I think I'm leaning towards Z. Let me zoom down to the Z. These are in alphabetical order now because I sorted. But it's not eliminating redundance. That one right there. Z003. That's the one I'm thinking I'm going to go with. So I will change the Joust script to use that font, and that will be involved, so I'll do that not in a video, but I'll show the results when it's done. And I just spilled my drink all over me, so I'm wiping that up. But that was it. That was the point of this video, just to show the creation of this file, of this script, to look at the different fonts that I have available, and I will change the Joust program and show the results eventually in another video. Thanks for watching. Okay, so I've chosen the font to be Z003, and I created a number of fonts inside the Joust program. And I also played around with Perusi some, but let me get rid of that. We're not going to use that. Z03 was the font I chose, the font family. So I created, looks like half a dozen different fonts with that family. Different sizes, 6 point, 8 point, 10 point, all the way up to 22. Those fonts are used in different pieces of the program to spruce it up, if you will. I went with weight bold on all of them because it just looked better. And what you do is, after you've defined the fonts, you use the dash font on a create text command, and this is using the 14-point Joust font that I've defined to put the message "No Gladiator Bounty Awarded," or collect 3,000 survival points, and so forth. So I have some cleanup to do here. I don't need this stuff. and I did an alias here. I had sysfont2 being used, which is a font alias that I created to one of the X Windows fonts, and I'm just overriding that, so I didn't have to go in and change a bunch of lines in the code. But let's run it like that and see what it looks like. All right, so one thing you'll see here is I use the fancy font in the title, and I'm using it for the game points table title, and that's only 2 places I'm using it on the title page, but in the game it's used more extensively. So now you can see the Wave 1 and the Prepare to Joust and Buzzard Bait are in the new font, and I really like it. I really like the way it looks. It doesn't look like the original game, but it looks pretty good. I really like it. I just don't know why. It just really appeals to me. You'll notice I didn't change the other fonts because for like the 100 750 there and the 500 1000, those fonts are already pretty close to the way the game looks, so I didn't want to mess with that. I didn't change the score because I feel like that's kind of I don't know, it doesn't need to be fancy. It's the score. Basically, the little pop-up messages and the titles in the on the title page, that's all I changed. And I believe it feels like a good mix to me the way it is currently. I might use that font more extensively in other places, but I think it's pretty much there the way I want it, the way it is currently. So that's it. That's the end of this video. I just wanted to show how some problems are solved using Tickle, or how I use Tickle TK. I guess what I'm trying to say. I use Tickle TK to solve problems like this. And that's it, I suppose. Hey, thanks for watching.